Hey, so I'm not that far into Act 2, I don't think. I've just been doing the advancing companion quests mostly. I just got a couple of predictions slash things I think would be cool. Um, okay, yeah, I don't necessarily think these are going to happen, but I think they would be cool if they did. One would be uh, Emrich's uh, personal quest tying in with the Harvester, which is a concept I've been hoping returns for a long time. And since that's not really affected by any choices that we imported, that would be cool if the bad guy was like trying to control the Harvester. Um, Harding, I think, is going to relate to the scaled ones. I got like that kind of vibe from Varric's little voiceover thing. The Gloom Howler for Davrin. Let me just say, the Gloom Howler is just a cool name, and I like it. Um, I'm a little surprised in the direction. It's good, and I'm looking forward to learning more. I'm very confused by what it is, um, and that's not a bad thing. It might be. I kind of feel like it might be a demon that like took on Isaya's memories, Isaya from Last Flight. Um, yeah, but otherwise, I don't know. Um, and as for just other random shots in the dark, let's say Talus is going to be involved somehow in, like, Ravane or Antiva. I don't know. Why not? So yeah, I have a lot of other thoughts on characters that I wish would show up. One of them was the Architect. I thought maybe he might show up in relation to the Grey Wardens. I thought I was really kind of hoping Nathaniel Howe would show up, and I was like just kind of hoping he would be like the new Warden Commander after the other guy. Um, I freaking love Nathaniel. I don't know. Um, so yeah, some other thoughts while I'm here. May as well just say I'm kind of low key in love with Davrin. Which is weird. From I absolutely did not expect that. I mean, I love most of the companions, and I just got to figure out which of my planned rooks are going to do what romance. And some of them I'm probably just going to look up online because like I don't have that kind of time to do like 10 playthroughs. Um, but yeah, my rook has such good chemistry with Davrin. It's kind of weird. If I wasn't already committed to Harding, and Nev was my second choice. But like after not getting to romance Harding and Inquisition, like what was I gonna do? Not romance Harding? Yeah, right. Um, so yeah, Nev was my second choice, but I'm pretty sure she's just gonna be mad at me forever because I made the logical choice of saving Treviso, which again I still think was a kind of kind of silly the way they handled it. Um, Let me just respond to one comment I got that I made the wrong choice. Uh, Listen, I don't care what the game is gonna say the right choice was. I made the right choice in the moment. That was the logical choice. Like, either let all of Treviso have a poisoned water supply, plus be attacked by the dragon, or let the Venatori take over, who can then be, killed later. And again, I'll say, going back to Minrathous after all that, I was really affected. I was like, okay, a lot of Venatori heads are about to be chopped off right now. It really spurred me on, and I think that's a good thing. And I imagine there's consequences and benefits both ways to whichever one you chose. So I don't care what the game says is the right choice. With the information I had at the moment, I made the right choice. So like choosing differently would be metagaming, which after I complete this first playthrough, I mean maybe, but I still think logically anyone should have made the same choice. I mean, what I can't understand why you would choose Minrathous with their massive army and walls over Treviso with no army. And yeah, Anyway, yeah. I think that's all I have to say for now. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey, so Where am I? I assume I'm pretty deep into Act 2 now. I just infiltrated a Venatori ritual. And the funny thing about that is we had to infiltrate by pretending to be Venatori, and we were literally the only ones there not wearing masks. And so that made me laugh a little bit. And that feels like a weird oversight to make for that mission. But it's fine. It didn't detract from anything at all. Solus and Elgonaut had some really interesting banter, I guess. Uh, yeah, I don't want to comment too much on that right now. I've been getting along with all the companions. Okay, so basically every time I go back to the lighthouse now, the companions have something new to say or a new conversation to have, and I love it. I do. I really love all the different conversations that they have with each other and that Rook can have with them, and all the different outings we can go on with them. I don't know how many of them are like actually required. Um, doesn't matter. I'm a completionist anyway. I'm always going to do them all. But I don't know. I really love what they've done with this ragtag bunch of misfits coming together to solve this problem. One thing that's kind of on my mind about the game itself is I feel like 4 of the factions have gotten a lot of content, mostly Grey Wardens, I think, but also Shadow Dragons and Antivan Crows have a bunch, and the Veil Jumpers have a good amount too. But it feels like I'm not getting a lot of Lords of Fortune or Mournwatch, and I hope that changes because I am really interested in these 2 groups. But it's just something I've noticed. So, sorry, I'm reading notes. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, not a lot to say this update. Just wanted to get some of those thoughts out, you know. Nev seems to have forgiven me, and part of me is actually kind of wishing I had romanced her. But also part of me wishes I romanced Davrin, and part of me wishes I romanced Balara, and a small part of me, Lucanus, and then there's I love basically all the companions. I could sing their praises for a long time. I'm looking forward to closing out some of their personal stories. I like a lot of the new lore that they've added. I like the explanations that they've given for a lot of mysteries. I like how far they're going. Solus is now giving me much more of a Loki kind of vibe, where he's giving us every reason to trust him, and I have to keep reminding myself, no, stop that, you can't. And that's definitely the vibe I get from Loki, at least in the Marvel movies. But yeah, Solus is just so well written here, I think. Something I'm wondering is, where is the wolf pack? Like, you know, Solus's whole spy network? Because they kind of made it seem like he had a bunch of agents. Where are they now? If I had been Solus, I would have had them, you know, guarding the ritual site. But, you know, otherwise, I don't know. Yeah, so that's a thing. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to comment on here. Yeah, so I don't want to take up too much time. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more to talk about soon. So, I guess one thing that came up was the pacing again around the ritual. Okay, so the mission I just did, you had to save a bunch of kidnapped Dalish who were going to be sacrificed. But as soon as I went back to the lighthouse after hearing about that, I got 4 new companion quests, and I'm like, am I going to be penalized for doing those before saving the Dalish? Because, you know, that was a thing in both Mass Effect games. Or not both, 2 of them. Mass Effect 2, you can be penalized for waiting too long to do the suicide mission after your crew is kidnapped. and in Mass Effect 3, you can be penalized for doing anything else before Sanctuary, between Thessia and Sanctuary. So I was worried, I would be too late, but thankfully, those 4 missions did not disappear, so it seems like I still have a chance to do them, which is normally I do every single companion quest and side quest possible before moving on in any BioWare game. And it seems like they didn't disappear, but I imagine they will at some point. I don't know what the cutoff point is. And so, I don't know, I just feel like that could have been designed better. I don't know that that's a critique necessarily, but it's just something weird that I had to deal with and think about. All in all, I'm having a great time. This game has definitely sucked me in more. I'm playing for longer periods in between my breaks now. So, yeah. Yeah, I may as well add this, why not? Seems like Lucanus and Nev have a thing going on, and good for them. I'm happy for them. I just did Davrin's big quest with the Griffins, and that was good. I feel good. Hey, so I'm wrapping up Act 2, I think, probably. Did pretty much all the companion loyalty quest equivalents. Everyone is a hero of the Veilguard except Nev. I don't know if that's because she's still mad at me about the choice, or if she has one more mission to do, but I mean, I don't know. Anyway, I just did Tasha's stuff, and okay, so we got a bunch of new Canary lore that I'm excited to dig into, but not really going to go into that right now. Just want to go over some quick things. Lucanus and Nev being together is very cute. I think they work well together. I think they have good chemistry, and their relationship was adequately built up through banter and conversations at the lighthouse. So that's good, and it makes me feel a little better about not having romanced either of them. So yeah, I think the writers put in a lot of effort into all of these characters, and all their arcs and loyalty quests were very well put together. So yeah, I want to say a quick thing about Emmerich and his loyalty thing. So spoilers for that. So he becomes a lich, and I haven't heard anything. I've been avoiding talks about anything in the late game or anything in the game in general. But I imagine some people might be upset by the new lore. It's a great time to give yourself a bath, Eden. So yeah, I imagine some people might be upset by it. Honestly, it was a little weird in being introduced to it now, but I'm fine with it. Honestly, it doesn't feel that different from golems and the way they're made, because you would put a dwarf, you would seal a dwarf in the body of a golem, like the physical body of the dwarf is inside the armor of the golem, and then they pour molten lyrium over it while it's on the anvil, and then that seals the dwarf's soul inside. And so this kind of feels like a similar thing of like sealing the human soul in the human body, just eternally. Same concept, different method. But yeah, it doesn't bother me. I don't know if anyone else is bothered by that. I haven't heard anything, like I said, but I just wanted to get that out, like some unbiased thoughts. The factions, so they haven't mattered that much in the game up till now. I imagine in Act 3 it's going to matter, like, because you can build up the faction's strength, and most of them are at the highest level. Some of them are less so. I imagine that's going to change like I said, it's gonna matter more in the third act. I assume. I assume the Lords of Fortune and Mournwatch are gonna have more, and I have more thoughts on how each of them were handled that I'll probably talk about in the future. I got a lot to talk about. Anyway, yeah, I'm just expecting more content there. What else? What else? I was gonna say something. Um, I don't know. I like being a shadow dragon. I think this is. It feels right being a shadow dragon. Um, just the freedom fighter aspect of it is something that I really appreciate and can connect with. And it just seems like like a good origin for Rook, and like why he's in this fight, why it matters so much. The Antom, that reminds me, the Antom have not played as big a role in the main quest line as I expected them to, though the situation with the Antom and Antiva, that hasn't been resolved yet, so I imagine they will in the third act. The Venatori, a lot of Venatori are now dead. So, yeah, there's that. What was I saying? Anyway, yeah, I like being a Shadow Dragon. I like my Rook. I'm interested to play my Dwarf Warrior because a lot of the movements and like levels in the game require like some parkour to accomplish, and I'm looking forward to seeing a dwarf in heavy armor do that. I'm not sure if it's gonna blend well, but I'm curious. So yeah, there's that. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to say for this part. Now I'm heading into Act 3. Um, yeah, everything's good. I mean, I love this game. I do. Um, as for how it compares to the others, I, I don't know that it's fair to compare them all. Just on pure enjoyment value, this game has some things it does better than the others, and some things it doesn't do as well as the others, and that's been true for literally every BioWare game I've played. So, yeah. Um, the game overall is not what I would have expected, but like I said in another one of these vlogs, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's impressed me and it's engaged me, and I'm looking forward to seeing the end. I do think it's a little long, but then again, most BioWare games are. So, at least in recent memory. So, yeah, that's where I'll leave this for now. I'll catch up with you soon. Hey, okay, so quick update. Just been doing more stuff. Got Nev to become a hero of the Veilguard or whatever, so that's good. Did a thing in Antiva, fixed the whole situation there. And now it looks like I'm moving on to what I assume is the Endgame. And they're talking about how Elgranon needs an eclipse. And upon hearing that for the first time, I was like, yeah, they totally should have called this Dragon Age Eclipse. That was Darth Shady's suggestion before the game actually came out, and I totally agree. So, yeah, moving on. I don't know how much of the game I have left. I really don't. It's looking like we're not going to get a whole lot of Mournwatch or Lords of Fortune content. I mean, it's good that they're there, but something that's been really apparent on certain missions, not all of them, but certain ones, is that they wanted them to be longer and more complicated, but ran out of time or budget, and so this is what we got. So, a little disappointing, but, still a good game. Still enjoying it. Looking forward to playing it again and analyzing everything. So, yeah, I'll let you know. Hey, so I just finished the Veilguard, so spoilers for the ending. I was going to make this its own video, but I honestly don't have as much to say as I expected I would. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. If you have any ideas or suggestions for what kind of videos I can make moving just to talk about the Veilguard, let me know in the comments. For now, I'm just going to go over the things that stand out to me. So I heard a lot about Varric, and some people were upset about what they handled, or about how they handled that. Honestly, because of the complaints, I kind of knew it was coming. It wasn't completely spoiled for me, but I just kind of figured it out. It hurt. It absolutely hurt, which I think was the point. Yeah, no, I think it was well written. I think that was very well written. On the other hand, I lost Davrin. He led the distraction team, and he gave his life to stop Gillinan. And seeing him and Asan go down together, that hurt. I wasn't expecting it. I will say I like the kind of inspiration they took from Mass Effect 2 in regards to choices and sending who where. I liked all the different factions coming together. All in all, the game, I would have written it very differently. I mean, I could have thought of several different directions for the whole story to go, and it wouldn't have been what they gave us. And that's not to say that what they gave us is bad. No, what they gave us is really good. It's just not what I would have thought of, and I'm not saying it should have been. Yeah, there's a lot of questions left open in the lore, and it could have been written better. Let's put it that way. The game is not as tightly written as it could have been, and you can really tell. Unfortunately, you can tell how much this game suffered from being in development hell for 10 years. You can tell there was a lot of content that they had planned that had to be cut. And that's a shame. I mean, it really is. I mean, stuff happens. You can't always control it. And I'm not mad at any one particular person at BioWare or even EA for how this, for the 10-year wait and the stuff that needed to be cut in order just to get the game out. Like I've said a bunch of times, I am happy with the game. Is it my favorite of the series? No, totally not. Was it as good as Inquisition? No, probably not. But it was still a good game, and I liked it. And so I see a lot of people I've seen people actually be bullied for liking the game. And honestly, that it reminds me of Mass Effect Andromeda, and I am well on the record of being a vocal defender of Mass Effect Andromeda. I still love the game. I still replay it every couple of months or so, I guess. I genuinely think some people are just determined to be unhappy. And they feel the need to make everyone else unhappy too. And like with any bully, the answer is not to engage with them, but also not ignore them. I truly pity bullies and people that try to convince others not to like something. I have such pity for them because they must lead such miserable lives to try to steal the joy from others. I'm not going to get into that. Okay, I've talked about that longer than I should have already, but anyway, yeah, like I said, I don't want to talk too much about lore stuff in this video. I'll make a whole other separate video for that. I'm going to talk with other DA YouTubers. I'm looking at my notes. A couple of questions. So it was shown in Arlathan that Elganon had the power to kind of paralyze people a little bit, and I was wondering why he didn't use that power in the final fight. And you can chalk it up to just, it being a video game. But Dragon Age usually does it better than just, it's a video game. But then again, I am well on the record of complaining about when the gameplay doesn't match the lore, so maybe I'm being a bit too forgiving there. I don't know. The more I'll have to think about it. I just finished like a few minutes ago, so I haven't had time to really think about it. The other thing was in the fight with Gillinan, she suddenly captured and wrapped up our companions in blight tendrils, but then didn't do that to Rook, and I didn't understand why. Yeah, just there's minor things like that throughout the game, and I've talked a lot about the Minrathous or Treviso decision. It's just little things, that they don't ruin the game for me by any means. But they leave me wondering. And like I said, maybe this ties to being in development hell and whatnot. I was a little confused. Okay, this is more getting into lore stuff, but I'll just put this on the record. I was a little confused by... there was a lot of blight stuff that I'm a little confused by. I don't know what happens now. They hinted that something else was calling the blight. But then in the Endgame, they had Balara being cured, and I don't know. I don't know what to make of that, and I'll have to investigate it more. Then there's the other elven gods. There were... how many others? Dirthaman, June, Falendin, Andruil, Solace. Is that it? 5? Yeah, there's 5 others. And their archdemons are dead. But they're still in the old prison, right? And why was Solus mad about killing the I think in Inquisition when he was mad about that, I think the archdemons tied into their imprisonment somehow. Like I said, I got to do more research on all of these topics. But I just wanted to share my first impressions before I had a chance to, look at any other information or go back over anything. I mean, the mission statement of these vlogs was always, I want to give you my raw, unbiased first impressions and reactions. And, I mean, I've pretty much done that. So, I had a lot of fun doing this. Like I said before, if you have ideas on how I can go about covering the rest of what I want to talk about, yeah, just be sure to let me know. Like I said, I have more stuff in the works, but I absolutely want to hear your opinions. And, tell me what you think of the game yourself, if you have any questions, what you particularly enjoyed. One thing that I wasn't expecting to going into it, but I adore all the old music cues that they used. They used the Inquisition theme coming up on when the Inquisitor showed up, and they used the Trespasser ending theme, or a new rendition of it, for the finale with Solus. And that theme alone is just is just awesome. But bringing it back with a new rendition to tie it up was really good. And the Veilguard main theme was really good too. I don't know. A lot of games don't impress me with the music. This did. This really did. I think they used the right cues at the right times. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, like I said, leave comments. Let me know your thoughts and what you want to see next. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Bring the light.